Hollywood isn't a secret cabal of racists. It's a secret cabal of people terrified of looking like racists. And I'm just tired of, no matter how much progress is made, social justice warriors feeling the need to gaslight us as if none of it had happened.
Ideology is more important than art.
Way more, certainly to the awards.
Yeah, and it's just, it's like, ideology
Right.
trumps art.
And
Ideology trumps individual
Terrible.
effort. Ideology trumps good. Ideology trumps entertaining.
Hollywood used to know. They used to know how to make a movie that was about something. A movie for adults that was also entertaining.
Ma is renewing his war with Hollywood because they wrecked the one thing we all rely on to unwind: movies. These days, you can barely sit through a film without tripping over some woke message, and Ma is far from amused. So, he dragged Hollywood into the spotlight with one of the most savage takedowns you'll ever hear aimed at the entertainment industry. If spicy political commentary is your thing, smash that subscribe button and let's dive in.
Because that's always been the problem in Hollywood. Not enough Jews. The woke even have a word for this troubling new phenomenon: Jew face. Do you see what I mean about them having their head up there? Really? The word you're using to fight anti-Semitism is Jew face? It sounds like something Mel Gibson says at a traffic stop.
Identity politics have reshaped Hollywood so completely that the industry is barely recognizable anymore. What used to be a place built on imagination, where actors could transform into anyone and tell any story, has turned into a minefield of ideological gatekeeping. Now, online activists are quick to mobilize against actors who take roles outside their own background, treating casting decisions like moral crimes rather than creative choices. It's gotten so absurd that the very foundation of acting, pretending to be someone you're not, is under attack. Ma zeroed in on a perfect example of this madness: an actor being deemed unfit for a role simply because they aren't Jewish. Think about that for a second. An entire profession built on transformation is now being policed based on identity boxes rather than talent or performance. It's not just limiting, it's the end of storytelling as we know it. And Ma isn't holding back when it comes to calling out just
Or hire a new dean of sensitivity. She just said, no, college is for introducing you to new ideas, not for and making you feel wonderful and always right. You're thinking of brunch with your parents. I'm just amazed at how this generation can simultaneously be too sensitive for anything distasteful and somehow also so into eating ass.
how ridiculous Hollywood has become. Ma also takes aim at Hollywood's outrageous oversensitivity these days. Jokes and themes that were once universally loved, completely harmless, and even celebrated for their wit have now been twisted into supposed sins, dissected and condemned by a culture desperate to find offense in everything. What used to make audiences laugh without a second thought is now treated like a crime against humanity, scrutinized frame by frame for any hint of problematic content. Yet, in a glaring contradiction Ma can't ignore, this same hypersensitive generation turns around and embraces behavior that previous generations couldn't have even fathomed. The same crowd clutching their pearls over a decades-old joke is often the one pushing boundaries in ways that would have shocked their grandparents. It's a strange double standard: outrage over fiction, indifference toward real-life excess. And Ma isn't afraid to point out just how backward and hypocritical that hierarchy of sensitivity.
But come on, man, can we live in the present? No Academy member this year filled out their ballot thinking, well, I didn't think Chalamet was very good, but I'll vote for him because he's white. Hollywood isn't a secret cabal of racists. It's a secret cabal of people terrified of looking like racists. And I'm just tired of, no matter how much progress is made, social justice warriors feeling the need to gaslight us as if none of it had happened. A couple of years ago, the Academy established a very complex rule book that said you couldn't even be considered for Best Picture unless you met certain criteria, like 30% of the crew or 2 department heads had to be from underrepresented groups, and a main storyline had to be as well. Well, there goes my idea about a polka band in a ski town.
Has become in modern culture. Sometimes you can't even put all the blame on Hollywood itself because its hands have effectively been forced by social justice warriors into making decisions designed purely to appease the far left rather than serve the story. It's less about creative vision now and more about survival. Studios bend to pressure just to avoid being labeled problematic or facing backlash campaigns before a film even hits theaters. These days, before a movie gets greenlit for production, it often has to check off a list of ideological boxes. Criteria that have little to do with talent, story, or artistic merit, and everything to do with satisfying activist demands. Checklists, messaging requirements, and sensitivity approvals have quietly become part of the filmmaking process behind the scenes. And the result? These forced requirements are actively hurting movies, draining them of authenticity, spontaneity, and the kind of bold storytelling that once made.
I mean, please don't get us wrong. We're not saying you can't hire who you want or make a movie about whatever you want. Okay, that's exactly what we're saying. I'm surprised Trump hasn't sued them over it. But seriously, by this standard, you couldn't make Titanic today and hope to get nominated, or Braveheart, or Amadeus. Apollo 13 was about a bunch of white people because white people have done some stuff. But somehow, without a production code, Hidden Figures got made and completed the historical record about how we got to the moon.
Made Hollywood great in the first place. Ma is right on the money with this one. We don't need rigid creative checklists in order to make a genuinely good movie. Talent, story, and execution should be what matter most. If any group feels its stories aren't being told or represented enough, the answer isn't to force the issue through mandates. It's to raise the funds, build the platforms, and push to get those stories made independently and authentically. However, producers shouldn't be strong-armed into adding characters just for the sake of optics or to avoid criticism. That's not representation, that's tokenism. And audiences can tell the difference instantly. Forcing inclusion artificially, rather than letting it emerge naturally from good storytelling, is actively ruining the movie experience for everyone involved. Ma's argument cuts right to the...
Hollywood used to know. They used to know how to make a movie that was about something. A movie for adults that was also entertaining and not just depressing. There was already a category for that. Best documentary. You know, important filmmaking about the conflict in Syria or the plight of the hot dog stand owners. You know, the part of the Oscar show where you got up and went to the bathroom.
The heart of it. Authenticity should drive Hollywood, not fear-driven obligation dressed up as progress. Ma also laments the serious lack of diversity when it comes to Hollywood's storytelling choices these days. It's not that the movies themselves are poorly made. Many are technically well-crafted, but there's a noticeable pattern. Hollywood seems to gravitate almost exclusively toward heavy, sad, or trauma-driven narratives instead of mixing things up and offering audiences a genuine range of emotions and experiences. To be clear, nobody's saying sad or emotionally serious storylines should be done away with entirely. They absolutely have their place and can be powerful when done right. What we're saying is that other themes, joy, adventure, comedy, and lighthearted escapism, should be thrown into the mix to create real balance. Right now, it feels like Hollywood has forgotten that movies are supposed to be fun and entertaining, too, not just vehicles for delivering.
I have always really appreciated the way you pushed back. When anyone tried to stifle you, shut you up, shame you, bully you. They tried it with the last one, with Once Upon a Time in the Hollywood, some bullshit about Margot Robbie doesn't have enough lines. And you do what I wish other people would do. Instead of apologizing like a little pussy, you say, I don't agree with your assessment.
If somebody brings up something that actually is legitimate, I'll even have a conversation with them about it because I'm actually into interesting thought and I don't have to even agree with you. Oh, but that's an interesting point.
Heavy-handed messages or emotional weight. Ma's point is simple. Variety used to be Hollywood's strength, and somewhere along the way, that got lost. That's the exact same kind of pressure so many Hollywood directors are facing right now. The relentless pressure to bend to the woke crowd's ever-shifting demands. And it's never just one issue. The woke crowd can pick apart literally anything, from claiming certain characters are underused on screen to complaining that one actor didn't get enough lines compared to another. No detail seems too small to spark outrage. More often than not, the expectation isn't just acknowledgement, it's full-blown groveling and a public apology. Unfortunately, a number of directors have already caved to that demand rather than stand their ground. They issue statements, backtrack on creative choices, and essentially beg for forgiveness over...
Why the hell do you think people become actors? Because they want to spend their life not being who they are. Appropriating sounds like an unforgivable sin until you remember that's what acting is. That's why acting jobs